Nowadays they just talk, but they talk about nothing.
All right, here we go. All right, our guest on the podcast today, on the Plumbify podcast, is Justin from How do I say it? Was it JLM and JLM Plum and Gas? Is that
JLM
right?
Plum and Gas Fit.
That's it, man. And better known as Crave.
Not today, not today.
Well, can you start off with where does the Crave come from, man?
Well, that's real simple. I used to say Crave a lot when I was an apprentice, so they started calling me Crave. And then I realised that I shouldn't call an Instagram with what I'm going to do on there. I don't want anything associated with my business.
Yeah, fair call.
And I don't. So, funnily enough, gets me more work than anything else, though.
Yeah, righto. All right, well, I'll start with this. I'm going to read it. Like I said, I'm going to read a bunch of this shit off my phone, so I'm trying not to be rude, but here we go. All right, we'll start off like situational question, like what you would do in this situation. So it's Friday Arvo, like it's 4:55. So Reese is about to shut, and you got to go in and buy supplies, and all you need to get is a couple of B press fittings to fix a leak, and you can fuck off home. But there's a 60-year-old retired school teacher in there trying to get advice from the counter staff on how to fix his Estillo quarter-turn shower taps. Do you go the arm bar, the rear naked choke, or something else?
Oil check. Always.
Oil check him.
Always. What you do is you kick the legs out
Can you
of him,
explain an oil
come up
check?
behind him. And an oil check is a wrestling term for a butt drag, which is where you lean over your opponent and sink a few fingers in the day. Get a few.
Okay.
Got to get. I've got it tattooed there. 40 mil and 50 mil. You got to get at least the 50 mil. Get them right in there, and you just drag them around because it's a good grip. Good grip point.
So with that the 60-year-old teacher, you straight away put your fingers up his ass. That's how you'd finish on a Friday Arvo.
You kick his feet out from under him so he's on the ground, and then you do it.
Oh,
you don't do it. You don't just sneak up. You don't sneak up behind him and just jam him in. You kick the feet out judo style, and then you fucking get it in the day.
What do you like? Make him land on the thumb, or you wait till he's down and then?
No. You aggressively get him in there. Two of these. Aggressive. All the way to the Zelda life bar.
What's all right? You got to explain what's a Zelda life bar.
All those hearts. That's the life bar from the Legend of Zelda from the NES.
Oh fucking hell! Okay, I'm not in. I don't know much about that. You might. Can you run us through some of those tats you got? Take your jumper off, and you might not want to, but
no, I got some good ones.
Come on,
I like how we just got straight. We got straight into it.
Straight in. Well, yeah. You started it with what you did before. You're the one who got straight. Fuck. Here we go. All right, I guess I better commentate this because this is going to be on a podcast audio platform too. So, do you want to run us through them while you're chatting as well?
That's the Legend of Zelda, that's a video game. Mm-hmm. My rig isn't quite right on it, but we'll go to the good ones. So, get my arm in front of the camera. That's the sewer machine and the sewer camera.
Yep.
So I've got them.
Rigid.
I've got my row pump.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Got my wrench that goes with it somewhere in there. It's very hard to see.
You got Reese?
Yeah, I got it all in there.
That must have been part of us. Was that part of a sponsorship deal, surely?
No, I'm just a fucking idiot.
We don't use those drain cameras, drain machines much over here, man.
You guys use it. You use a rigid K750 or a Marco, which is a drum machine.
Yeah.
You're the only state that does it.
Yeah, I've just got to go and buy a couple machines in the next few weeks. I'm not really sure what to get. You got any recommendations? Because we can't get Marcos anymore. They're not even made anymore.
I wouldn't get a drum machine because they're fucking dog shit. They got no torque. I've got one. I'd be getting a K1500, which is your normal machine there.
Yeah.
Or you get you get a K1500, you get a K whatever the new version of it is. I can't remember the name of it or the number, but I wouldn't get a drum. It's only Adelaide. Adelaide's the only state that uses a drum machine. Still baffles me. Don't know why. Doesn't make any sense. They're fucking shit.
Well, they stopped making them anyway, so we're in fucking tatters. There's so many people with them over here, and we can't even barely get parts for them anymore. So we're
Yeah,
having to move
get
to the.
rigid
So what do you call them if you
K750.
don't call them a cable machine then? Oh,
There's a
yeah, a
drum
drum machine.
machine,
Sorry.
sectional. There's a drum machine and a
Sectional.
sectional. Sectional, you'll
Okay.
get more torque because of the type of motor it is and the type of cable. You can get more torque.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get that torque through a drum. A drum, the problem is you got a cable that's bound up in there, so it's already under stress and it's a thinner cable. So then when you start going through and you hit heavy roots, you'll start binding up.
Mm. Okay.
When you bind up on a drum machine, it's a fucking nightmare. K15, whatever the new one is, or there's a rigid also, the K750 and the K7500, which is their top of the line drum machine, which is the equivalent of a Marco.
Okay. You got any hookups for prices? Because I know you got a bit of a. Surely you got rigid hookups. Can we talk about that
I
later?
can get Chris at rigid, mate. Rigid, I can get you on a rigid. Don't worry. They haven't spoken to me for a while because I haven't done a lot because I've been lazy.
Yeah. What's
But Sydney Tools usually.
Sydney Tools? Yeah, they're popping up over here like crazy, man. Like
because they're good.
They're building like 5 stores. Yeah, they are good actually. They usually have stuff in stock, and they are smashing it over here. We use them flat out.
They're good. They didn't do me dirty like the competitor. Did me dirty on the back end with a dirty deal. The Sydney Tools are where it's at. They're all the guys at the top, great guys. I know the owners. I haven't spoken to them for a while, but I certainly did pre-COVID. The owners are good guys. Tim, who does all the social media, fucking legend. Can't speak highly enough of Tim.
He puts up with you, so he must be all right.
Oh, they've looked after me over the years, so I'll look after them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my mates have had tools stolen. And there you go.
No, sorry, mate. Yeah, I saw. Actually, I was going back on your. We always use. Yeah, we have to. On a side note, we have to probably deal with this lag in internet. But I was going back through your Instagram a bit, doing some research. I did see that you had your tools flogged a few times. So what's happened with that? They came to the party and hooked you up with some stuff.
Yeah, I haven't had my tools flogged. I've helped other people when they've had their tools flogged.
Oh, okay, gotcha. What? And Sydney Tools came to the party for you with the hookups.
A mate of mine, Joshua Tree Landscape and Construction, down here, he had a bunch of shit knocked off out of his car at the front of his parents' room when he was living there. They took drop saws, they took fucking everything. I couldn't believe it because they must have come in the middle of the night. Because a drop saw, they took everything. Like drop saws, fucking table saw, the whole lot. I don't know how they got away with it, but he was at Troopy, so the alarm on a Troopy is nothing. Yeah. So they just walked off with it. And the next day he calls me. I spoke to Tim at Sydney Tools. He's either did what he did or spoke. He's like, go into Preston, which was the store I go to, and Mark, the manager at Preston, did everything they could to help out. Because, I mean, they don't want to see blokes getting their tools knocked off either. Like, it's shit. I'm sure they still make some money because, they're still going to make some margin on it, but they're a big enough company they can do that where they can go, oh, we'll help you out. And I knew the right people to be like, can you help me? And they're like, yeah. But I in that scenario, he got reamed bad. He lost 20 grand to shit in a night. If you did that, I reckon if you hit up any tool supplier, it wouldn't even matter which tool supplier, and you tell them the situation, I wouldn't be surprised if they came to the table to help out.
Yeah, we had the same thing happen recently where we one of the roofing utes, one of our apprentices was taking it home and was parked on the side of the road, unfortunately. So they just got the lock, and they, it's one of the ones where you flip the lock out, and they just like literally, as if you just twist the lock hard enough, it will just snap, and then that's it. The toolbox is open. They stole heaps of shit, B-press tools, everything.
They can't even sell that either. The problem is, what they'll do is they'll get in, they'll steal a bunch of shit that's really hard for us to replace. They'll sell it for nothing, and then we're the ones who get completely fucked. All you can do is secure your shit as best you can. So what I've done at home, I've got sensor lights, cameras, all that, dogs. But I've got a light. When you get on my driveway, the light tracks you. 10,000 lumens, and it follows you. So any crackhead that comes up, So that's going to scare the shit out of anyone because it will follow you to my car. The second you hit my driveway, it'll follow you, and
Yeah.
it moves. So it scares the
That's
shit out of
sick.
people.
Mm.
They're not that They're not that expensive.
Yeah, right. Fuck. Well, hey, I've got heaps of questions. So can we go back to the start? I know you don't want to talk about business or anything, but so we won't. But can you talk about how you got into plumbing? You know, were you a good kid at school, all that sort of gear? If we can wind it back a bit.
No, I'll go all the way, bro. That's easy. ADHD, bad. Still do, bad. Went to primary school, probably almost got expelled, didn't somehow. Parents got me into a boarding school, agricultural boarding school, Yanko, up in New South Wales. That was by choice, not because they didn't like me. Got expelled from that in year 8. Came back to school here. Got to year 10 and didn't pass because didn't turn up to enough classes. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't want to be at school anyway. Left, did a printing apprenticeship. Realised at the end of that's a dead trade. What can I do that can't be? I needed something that was future proof. And I thought, what's future proof? My brother was a plumber, and I thought, well, plumbing you're going to need. It's not manufacturing. Manufacturing died. Like that, I was a printer. That's manufacturing. It is dead. Got all sent to China, sent overseas. What's still here? There's no money. You're looking at qualified $22 an hour, $25 an hour, unless you're at the Note Printing Australia printing the money or something, because that's specialist. Plumbing is, it can't be done like that. You've got to be on site. You've got to be doing this, and it's specialised. So I managed to get a job on my own because my brother wouldn't help me because they didn't think I could do it. He's like, you're too weak, you're too small. And I was 60 kilos soaking wet when I was 19.
Yeah.
First bloke fucked me around, so he got me a job, and then from there I just went through a few employers just because people went under and this and that, and finished it. Ended up subbing, and then ended up here.
You mentioned specialised. Do you, in your business right now, is there something you specialise in? Seems to be maybe camera work.
Block drains.
Block drains.
You'd be shocked how many people can't figure out a fucking block drain.
Yeah,
hey. It baffles me. Like I rock up and I'm like Rain Man for this shit, only for the blockages. I can't do the reline and none of that. But figuring out a blockage, I'll figure it out real quick. Whether we've got to dig up, whether we've got to do this, whether we've got to do that, I'll just figure that shit out. I won't spend 3 hours jetting nothing.
Yeah.
Straight away, you just start figuring it out. And it's just from doing it and just understanding how it works. Because it's real simple. If the point's missing, okay, well, we can't go there. How do we find an access? Okay, we'll do this, cut a vent, do whatever we got to do to get access without pulling a toilet. There's nothing I hate more than pulling a fucking toilet. Had to do it today. I was filthy. And I got sprayed directly in the eye with shit from the plunger too. So I'm going to get pink eye the next 2 days. So, and it was a direct shot. It was straight in.
Oh, you got the cum shot.
Mate, I got it straight in the fucking eye. Bad. So and I wasn't wearing the sunnies were on my fucking head because I was inside, not over the eyes. But the problem is a lot of guys do blockages and don't know it. I still don't understand how people don't know what they're doing, but it happens a lot. And then and I end up just figuring out complicated blockages in 5 seconds. And so they're like, "Oh, we had another plumber here 3 hours and he couldn't figure it out." And you're like, "I don't understand how that works."
Yeah. You got any tips for the young fellas out there about, what makes you so, what differentiates the blockages from the?
Well, the first problem is you've got to be anyone that does maintenance. It doesn't matter. You can't teach maintenance if people don't have problem solving skills. Some people have it, some don't. You do maintenance, you know which guys you can teach to do it. You know which guys you can't, and that's a natural thing. ADHD, it works really well. Anyone with ADHD will do it, no worries, because we want those problems. Little things, that's a little goal. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But you can't teach that. That's the first problem. You got dudes that are just simplistic and they're just there to work. They're not going to problem solve because they're not going to understand problem solving. That's what maintenance is. Day in, day out, It is problem solving and little problems here and there. And you've got a different, that tap service could be the same at 8 different jobs, but it's different at this job. How do you solve that problem? And it's something very minor, but you've got to be able to think about it. But blockages are easy. Always start from the bottom. Always. Unless it is just a block toilet and one fixture, like always, if you go, oh, we've got one.
You're saying like go upstream, essentially.
So no, if they're saying they've got only this toilet's blocked and this basin, check downstream. Always check downstream, because you can't ask the customer, oh, is there gurgling here? Is there? They don't fucking know half the time. Check it. If the point's exposed, check the point anyway. Takes 3 seconds to take your cap off, and you can save yourself 30, 40 minutes of work. You look like a legend. You're in and out in 30 minutes. So you've made more money anyway, because you're charging that first hour regardless. But you've made less work for yourself. Maybe you get a dig up. You're being thorough and quick. That's still, when you need to dig that point up, you're getting that dig up. It needs to be a problem solving thing, from like you start at the bottom, work to the top. And then when you've been doing it long enough, you won't need to do that as much. It doesn't need to be done, because you know what you do. You know, because you've seen it so many times. You can rule it out without even looking that hard.
And when would you, decide like straight off the bat, like, oh, this is a jet or this is a cable job?
Oh, that access will depend. I had one the other week that was already been cabled internally. It was blocked internally. I did try to get the drum machine through, couldn't do it. So it was an external dig up. And I go, well, we need to dig this up outside, because we need to jet this, because whatever's blocking it, we don't know, but we need the jet to clear it.
Yeah.
But we don't have the water reservoir to drain. Like, we can't drain the water anywhere. So we need to dig this up. With the jet, I'm usually wary about running it inside. I will if I have to, but the flex shaft covers most internal stuff, and then you're outside anyway. Yeah. And if you're internal, it's soft. Like, if it's internal, it's not going to be something too hard. It's pretty rare you get roots under a slab. It's pretty rare you get this. You can justify going, we'll use this inside, that outside. But access, I mean, the thing that costs money in block drains is access. Every job. That's what gets you. Every job. If you want to spend a lot of money on a block drain, access is I've had $300 jobs turn into $3,000 like that, because you can't find the point. Guess where it's fucking blocked? The point.
Yeah. And when would you use that? So when do you use that flex shaft?
Any internal blockage, if I suspect it, certainly. So with the flex shaft, because a lot of guys are wary, and then other guys who've got them have broken them because they don't know how to use them. I damaged all of mine because I flogged them pretty hard, but I was using them right. They paid for themselves pretty quick, and I've since repaired it, and I've been back using it. Flex shaft, second story, 100%. 100%. Any second story job, if I know it's only second story, because if I've got a vertical riser under a basin, I can feed that into the main run. Yeah. So I don't have to pull a toilet. Who the fuck wants to pull a toilet? You've got to put a whole toilet back in. Yeah, I told you, I'll do anything. I will do anything to avoid pulling a toilet. I fucking hate it. So you can feed that in. You can then clear to the stack. Because if it's at the bottom of the stack, well, that's a different problem anyway. Yeah. You might get it there, but you're probably going to assume there's a bigger problem. But if it's on a flat lateral, which is usually what it is when it's a second story, it's usually wrong junction or the drain's flat. Same thing every time. That flex shaft will save your ass. So even if you got to pull a toilet, the setup is one drill and a drum. That's it. No bullshit, no mess, no nothing.
How long's the cable on that thing?
25 meters-ish.
25 meters. Yeah, right.
No, long enough
that's handy,
for your internal. If you're internal work, it's perfect.
Yeah. Mm. So it
So
seems like you got a lot of rigid tools, don't you? What camera you got? Because I know you
rigid.
wanted to talk about drain cameras. I wasn't sure if you meant peephole cameras because you said toilet
No,
cameras.
rigid. No. Toilet cameras. That's a private thing. My only. So I've got an OnlyFans, only dumps.
Ah,
No,
rate
no,
my
thanks,
poo.
dumps. Yeah, shit city. That that's more for your. That's where your toilet cameras fit in. But no, rigid all the way. And you can get the cheaper ones, but rigid hasn't let
Mm,
me down. I got the rigid mini reel. I've had it repaired a few times. I've only kinked it 4 or 5 times,
hmm.
which isn't many in 8 years.
Yeah, that's
Like,
pretty good. That's a good ratio. What about? Oh, I got a question. I wasn't going to ask this, but this is a selfish question for myself. Is because we got so many, vans floating around, and all of them basically have to have a camera, and it gets to the point where it's not economical to keep buying rigids. Do you have a alternative that know of or could recommend that's a more in regards to drain cameras,
I mean,
more of a economical solution?
Seca, I believe, have one that's pretty good. I know I'd be wary of buying a cheap one from China. You got some dudes that swear by it. I've not used one. I would imagine if I were to use one, I'd say the cable was a bit. I can guess that the cable won't be the same. It won't be as stiff.
Mm,
And I don't. I don't. When you've got employees, they'll fuck your camera up. You won't fuck
mm,
it up because you're financially not going to want to fuck it up. So you know
mm.
when you're forcing it, and they know when they're forcing it, but they're more inclined to push it further.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not.
definitely.
I'm not that inclined to push it that far.
Hmm.
So the Chinese ones, I would imagine they're going to feel more like a rigid R200, which is the drum camera with the little carry, so you can wheel it. Even though it's
Hmm.
smaller than the other ones, you can wheel it around. Um, it's a bit softer, whereas the mini reel's spot on, and you don't want anything softer than that because you're not going to get the push over the distance.
Yeah.
That's the problem because it's not about the laptop screen, all the bullshit. It's about the stiffness of the camera. If the
Hmm.
camera reel isn't stiff to the right amount, that's where you're going to have your problems.
So how many different reels are you running?
Just one. I know. I've got
Just
two.
one.
I've got the rigid micro. I've got a micro which is 40 and 50,
Hmm.
which you use that when you need it. That's why I've got it. And I've got the mini reel. The mini reel is 99% of the work.
What if you got to go down like a 40 mil basin or something? Does that still cover that base?
Rigid micro does, yeah. My micro does. So I've got the micro, which is the small, the one you
Yeah.
carry. And I've got the
Yeah.
bigger red one.
Hmm. And what jet are you using?
I got a sprint jet. So I
Hmm.
had
How's that?
before, fantastic. So I had the Sydney Tools one, uh, not Typhoon. I can't remember what it was called. Before my truck got written off, and that was on the back of the truck.
Yeah.
That was actually really good. That was better than you'd think it would be for the price range. It was quite good,
Hmm.
and that was my starter. And that did all your domestic stuff. And then when my truck got written off, I had to the Ute I bought had a jet on it, which was a sprint jet. And it was
Yep.
through a mate of mine. I was already doing all his jets. He'd bought a Jetta and I was still doing all his jets. So I'm like, well, if you're going to sell me the Ute, you may as well sell it with the Jetta still on it. Otherwise, you're going to have to
Mm.
start doing the jets. And he's like,
Hmm.
well, I don't want to start doing the jets.
Yeah.
So, and I did one for him today. I've got a sprint jet now. I can't remember what model, but it's, 5,031 litres a minute or something. And it's,
Yeah. Yeah.
kills it. Certainly built better because the price point's different.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but it's a good Jetta, but the Jetta's the least. You need a good Jetta, but you need good heads too.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's the
definitely.
thing.
Do you get a service regularly? Because I reckon that's where you can fuck up as well, as if do you
Uh,
go by the hours or something on the
every
motor?
50.
Every 50 hours? Yeah,
Well,
nice.
the guy in Melbourne that most of us go to, Nick at Crockett and Co, Melbourne Jetico down
Hmm.
in Hallam. He's really good. He's always booked up the ass because he's good. But he's good. whatever he tells me, I'll do. But you can push it a few hours either way.
Mm.
So not the end of the world. When you need something fixed, he's always good for it too.
Yeah.
So I'll give
I'm
my
sure.
little shout outs. Give my little
Yeah,
shout outs.
yeah, give him a shout. I'll get my editor to put some little tags in there so we can tag him and everything as well. Why not? Fuck it.
Please do.
You've agreed to come on here, so mate. Well, we'll get back to. I'm sure. Well, there's a lot of plumbing questions. I thought. Well, I won't keep you too long, man. But
No, I got all night.
All right, so do I. I know you don't want to. I know you don't particularly want to speak about business, but I just want to ask you one question that's related to BJJ and business because I can see a definite correlation between business owners that do BJJ, and we'll definitely get onto that in a minute. Your passion for that. Has BJJ taught you anything that you can relate back to business? Because I feel there's a definite correlation between business people and their attractedness, for lack of a better word, to BJJ.
Not me. I can understand why it would to some. To me, it's more. Wow, it probably would have had I started earlier, not in my 30s, because it teaches you obviously your discipline, all that sort of stuff. But it's more, it gives you a goal and it keeps you on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
So whereas 2-3 years ago, you look at it, I'm doing 100 cans a week at least. Like, especially by the end of COVID, you're blind drunk like 3 or 4 nights a week. And you got nothing, you're not doing anything. I was 100 kilo or 98 kilo. Yeah. And then so it gives you something to drive for. And then in the rest of your life, you're happier. So that tends to keep that stuff better. But with some people, it would just keep them more focused on this and that. I use it differently. I just like strangling people. No, you got to strangle. You got to strangle some people a few nights a week, and you feel better.
Blokes on blokes. Is that what you mostly like about it? Rolling around with sweaty blokes.
Well, that's just a bonus. more that you get to the thing with BJJ is if you start, you're going to be fucking terrible. Like, you are useless, and you are going to get the shit beaten out of you for 6 months, basically. And a lot of people don't start. That's most people. And then a lot of people that start don't even get 6 months. When you get past that, then you start to get a bit better, and you get these little rewards, which is not being a shit.
Yeah.
And then for 20 years, you just get a little bit better. And then to some people, you'll beat them up. Other people are just still going to beat the fuck out of you. You're still just shit. And eventually, that person that's beating you up, eventually you'll get them. Eventually, you'll catch them. You'll choke them out or something.
Yeah,
that's your reward. Is just finally catching some asshole.
Have you been choked? Have you actually been choked out, or do you tap first?
Not unconscious yet.
Yeah. So what got you into it in the first place? Obviously, you love UFC.
So what happened was, during the pandemic, you stuck at home, and I just started, for whatever reason, watching more and more UFC. And by the end of it, I'd put on at least 10 kilo, and I was just like, I need to do something healthy, but I can't go to a gym. Like, it just doesn't do anything for me. Like lifting weights and doing all that shit. And then I'm watching such an absurd amount of fights. I can't watch this many fights and not do something. So I was going to do BJJ and Muay Thai. I've done Muay Thai a few times. I don't like being punched in the head. It's not very fun. And I'm a lot better at BJJ than I am at throwing a punch. Yeah. So I just found it was a good way to, you're going to lose weight. You're going to have a goal, like something to do. The social aspect is really good. You're going to meet a lot of people. I'm mates with, that many people. One of my best mates is a bloke at the gym, Xavier, who runs an MMA Instagram now, Left Lane MMA. He does a really good job. But he's like one of my best mates now, and I'm 33. He's a 16-year-old, and we watch the UFC fights every month when it's a pay-per-view. So as weird as that is, But that we train like almost every night together. And you're like that with a lot of the guys there. You actually see each other every day.
Mm-hmm.
And over 2 years, you just all end up, no matter what, you're going to end up really good mates. If you get along, you're going to end up good mates because it's every night you'll see these people.
Yeah, yeah. How many nights a week are you training? 4, is it?
I try. It varies. It just varies because like you've either got work or you got an injury.
Yeah.
I try to do 4, and then it goes from 1 to 6. It just depends.
Mm.
Depends on
And
whether I
you've dropped
pulled
kegs,
something.
have you? You've dropped heaps of weight
Lost at
since
least
doing it.
15 kilo plus of fat. Put it
Mm-hmm.
on 2 or 3 kilo of muscle, and I haven't touched a weight in 15 years.
Fuck, and all the while you still got to get oil checked, which is a fucking massive bonus, isn't
Well,
it?
like I said, that's just it. No, I'm doing the oil check. No one's able to get one on me.
I think that was one of the questions I had for you. Would you rather get oil checked or be the oil checker?
Oh no, I'm giving the oil checks. That's easy. I'm giving them.
Who's your favorite UFC fighter? I'll give us
At the moment,
it's probably hard to say one, but top 3.
Charles Oliveira.
Okay.
That's why I've got the blonde hair.
Oh, you did it for Charles Oliveira spec.
One of the boys, it was a dare at the gym, and then I never got around to it before the fight. I was meant to do it before because I'm lazy. So I was like, I have to do it because I'm getting too much shit. But nah, Charlie Olives, Volk,
He's a beast.
Pantoja, who's fighting this weekend too.
Mm.
When you start grappling, you end up being all about the grappling guys, which that's the other thing is you start grappling, and then when you watch grappling, you're actually like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. But
Yeah.
you're not like that before.
What about favorite
no.
old school UFC fighter?
Right, I'm going to quickly restock the fire at the same time we're doing this.
No, all good. Favorite old school UFC fighter?
Oh, old school, you've got a few. Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, I used to like him.
All those shows tattooed on my leg.
Yeah.
Bisping, also tattooed on my leg.
Yeah.
They're probably up
His
there.
documentary's sick, actually.
Chael Sonnen's up there, to be honest. Chael Sonnen's probably right up there as one of the best. But purely because he's undefeated, undisputed, but the best shit talker in MMA.
Yeah. Has he never been defeated?
Oh no, he's been beaten a bunch of times. So that's the joke.
He was a good shit talker. Undefeated shit talker.
I've got him tattooed. He's tattooed on my leg, fighting another guy.
Yeah. He's been smashed by what's the guy with the massive head a bunch of times, hasn't he? What's his name? The guy from LA bad boy, or whatever the fuck his name was.
Oh, Tito Ortiz. The Huntington Beach bad boy. Once.
Yeah.
Only once.
Who's the guy who smashed him twice? And they had a rematch and he smashed him again, I swear.
Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
There's that because he only got subbed. He got subbed in the 5th round after beating Silva the rest of the fight. So it's barely a defeat. If you tap it, finishes the round.
What's your predictions for this weekend then? For all the UFC fans out there.
290 International Fight Week. We got. I'm worried about Volk. Very worried about Volk.
Worried. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, he is dangerous, but you got to go Volk. Then Moreno Pantoja. You got to go. Is this going to release before Sunday?
Yeah, this will come out on Friday. This will come out in 2 days.
All right. Well, Pantoja, I can't go past. His BJJ is dangerous. He's a dangerous person. Duplessis Whitaker. I want to say Whitaker, but it will be funny if DDP wins because DDP is white South African and he keeps claiming that he's the real African fighter. And that
okay, yeah.
And he's not very good. But him versus Izzy for the real African fight a spot will be the funniest fight in the world. And I really want that to happen. So DDP, even though I want Whittaker to win. And then Bo Nickel is beating the shit out of some random dude, so that's not going to go well. And I think it's Dan Hooker, Jalen Turner. And unfortunately, Hooker's probably going to lose because Jalen Turner's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I can do the rest of the card. I don't remember the whole card off memory, but I can remember most of it.
Go on, and then we'll revert back and we'll see how shit you were or good you were at these predictions.
Yeah, well, and you'll edit most of it out. I can't remember it. Ah, shit. No, now I got nothing.
We'll come back to it. What's So I got to ask what your favorite tool is, man. You got a lot of tool posts. You got like a favorite plumbing tool or like an underrated plumbing tool?
Well, a barcode shifter, a 10-inch barcode shifter wide mouth. That's the most valuable plumbing tool. Between that and footies, because they're the two most important. And yet, with those two, you can do a lot.
Yeah.
At the moment, flex shaft's probably the favorite because it just saves so much fucking hassle.
Mm.
So
yeah, I want to get one now. How much are they worth, you reckon? What are they worth?
The big one's $2 and a bit, I think.
Yeah.
Which, if you use it correctly, especially for descaling, which I use it for a lot because we've got a lot of cast iron, pays itself off quick enough that it justifies that you're eventually going to fuck it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we all do. We all push it through them routes that we shouldn't push it through, and that's what fucks the cable.
Is there any instances that are Rothy's better than a rigid in any tools? Because I look back on your Insta, you seem to be a big fan of the row pump.
Row pump's an individual thing on its own. That is the best plunger anyone can ever buy. You can do a fucking with the same. You just duct tape the same fucking end on that thing. You'll never change it. You can do a goddamn basin. You can do fucking everything. Any plunging can be done with that.
Yeah.
If you do maintenance, you have a row pump, you're a fucking spastic. Because that thing's worth it. That thing pays itself off one job in.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I've hit second story blockages on that thing that you wouldn't believe.
What about press tools? What press tool are you running?
I got the Rothenberger compact, the TT compact at the moment.
Oh, so you are about Rothenberger too. Any issues with it? Because some of the older Rothenbergers
I haven't had issues.
Battery issues, I think. Yeah.
Well, the batteries aren't a problem because you just get a Metabo battery because it's just a reskin Metabo. So same with rigid. Rigid's ones are a Makita reskin. You just got to work out whose batteries they've used because no one does their own proprietary battery. They always use someone else's. Most you got your big tool companies. Almost everyone uses one of their batteries reskin, except maybe Vega don't and Rems probably don't, but most companies do.
Yeah, fair call. Yeah, that's a good point because that's one of the things that annoyed me initially with the Rothy. Reese has been looking after us lately with getting a couple of batteries, but they only come with one battery, which seems ridiculous.
No,
they used to.
They're a Metabo.
Metabo battery. Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
No, they were a Metabo. I assume they still are. Fuck if I know.
Okay. I'm just going to chop and usually I try and have some sort of flow in this thing, but fuck it, man. I'm just going to chop the fuck out of this interview and just go back and forth if you don't mind.
No, I can do it.
What suburb? And I asked this question because I found myself in Melbourne early last year, doing some work with after the hailstorms went through like that Geelong area and like the western suburbs of Melbourne, and I found myself down in Corio. I thought it was Corio, but it turns out it's Corio.
It's Corio. It's Corio.
Corio. Where do you reckon the most crackies are floating around in? What's the fucking worst suburb to work in, you reckon, in Victoria?
Oh, fuck. Where Johnny works, like Life for Maintenance Plumber, where that cunt works, like Glenroy, that joint's pretty fucked. Brody, oh yeah. He works Coburg and stuff, which is like the fancier wogs, but he also gets the crackhead wogs. He's gonna get them all out there because that joint's fuck, man. It's a real like Coburg, not too bad, gentrified, but fuck, Glenroy is still a shithole.
All right.
Broad Meadows would be up there though. Broad Meadows would be up there.
Is Corio up there?
Yeah, but that's Bogan crackhead. That's different, and that's Geelong crackhead. I don't deal with Geelong crackhead.
You don't go down, you don't
That's
venture
a
that way.
different type of crackhead.
Okay. All right. I've got to ask you just a quick socials question, and then I've got just a bunch of stupid questions, and my Instagram's coming in hot with all sorts of shit, which I haven't opened yet, which I'll do in a minute. Did you have in regards to your Instagram, did you have like a post or a series of posts that really blew it up for you?
Not
Followers
that I can
wise, and you
remember.
know what I mean?
Not that I can remember specifically. I know the type of content that did, which is the blockages, pulling out roots. Because it translates easy. That's why I use it on my Facebook for the business. Because if you're pulling out a lot of roots, people, whether they're plumber or not plumber, understand it, and it looks impressive. Whether if you got a real big one, like a 12 meter, like a real big bundle of roots, that looks impressive, and people can understand it no matter what. So it translates.
Yeah.
Whereas the technical plumbing stuff, like a good hot water service, Joe Blow doesn't give two fucks about a neat hot water service.
Yeah,
and I know that because I go to a lot of jobs and people have dog shit hot water services. Like soft drawn copper and shit that's bent over the knee, and they're like, yeah, that's good. I'm like, what the fuck? Soft drawn copper is for burst pipe repairs, and that's it.
Yeah, fuck, I haven't fucking even pulled one of those bad boys out for ages. One of those coils.
No, it's
fuck, I can't even think what I used to use them for when I did.
No, drag it under a house to fix a fucking
in a ceiling or something is pretty handy.
Some fucked up bit of copper that no one's ever going to see. That's what it's for. But if you're doing a hottie, my hottie just got done by the government with that, or by like one of those companies for a heat pump. It is dog shit. It is all the whole thing's soft drawn.
What's do you have a problem, because it seems like, looking at the socials, not particularly yours, but others as well, like seems like Melbourne or Victoria has a fucking problem with shit building at the moment. Like, do you come across a whole bunch of shit builds, particularly new stuff?
Wow, we come across it with the owner builders and the new builders. The problem is the consumer. They want a cheap home.
Yeah.
And you're going to get what you pay for. It's like, I got a shit heat pump because it cost me nothing. It was free. Someone paid for it, but it cost fuck all. And it cost fuck all to the plumber got paid fuck all. And I could tell because the thing's 80 mil on the piss. So if you're a cheap home, you're going to get, it's the finish that suffers. You're going to get a cheap finish. It's not as bad as like that bulletproof vest spastic makes it sound, site inspector, whoever it is. It's not as bad as that, but the one I see is waterproofing. That's the one that people are cutting the most corners with, and that's one you cannot cut the most corners with.
No, you can't. You see some shocking. I don't think a lot of people even understand the waterproofing rules, because we did a little waterproof. Me and a few of the lads did a waterproofing refresher over here, and the way they explained how you got to waterproof a bath, and I was like, I've never seen one fucking bath ever waterproof that way in any house ever. And I'm thinking, no one does it, man. We're going to get like a water stop under the
you got to have the
edge
water
of the
stop
bath,
underneath.
and that's like, have you ever seen that in your life? The bath gets put in first, then the waterproofing gets done later, man.
I've only done freestanding in the last few years, but no one does it. It's not that's probably the least of your concerns, because the shower that always fails anyway. The shower is not. It's bad puddle flanges, then it's bad waterproof, no water stop angle on the shower. That's the one that I see that's probably the biggest problem. Shit building, I don't get it so much out my way. Certainly there, but it's not as big a problem out my area.
Okay. Yeah, fair call. Mate, you seem to have and we spoke about this quickly on Instagram before we came on, just on the chat. So we'll be careful about how we go about this question. But I think after this one, I've just got a bunch of ridiculous questions to ask you. So this is the last serious serious one. Is you said you do, and I share the same passion. That's why I ask, because I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Is you seem to have a good hatred for those. How do we say it?
Fixed rate.
Big upselling plumbing companies. Why do you hate them so much? Because I do
Well,
too.
this is easy. This is easy. This is the only question that was pre-screened, so I don't get in trouble. My issue. Oh, this is super easy. So the problem is, and you get them on the plumber's crack because they pop up there trying to justify what they've done, which that pisses me off. I don't mind guys making money. That's fine, and you can make a lot of money as a plumber. It's not that hard, and it's not that hard to do it ethically, right? So you can do it because it's not cheap even doing it ethically.
Yeah.
It's like Billy Madison, where it's like ask you a question about business ethics, and these motherfuckers would self implode.
Business ethics.
It's exactly like that, though, because it's like I went to a job the other week, and a company was there. I got called to go there by another plumber who was friends with the old lady who lived there or whatever. They were there doing a job, another job, trying to upsell her on replacing her stormwater. And her stormwater is fucked. That's fine. It's about 3 lengths of 90 mil. So 3 lengths of 90 mil, a couple of grand. This is in the ground, a couple of grand. They wanted $19,000 to do 3 lengths of 90 mil. And they were putting the hard sell on her while I was there.
Oh,
and
really?
I rocked up while they were there and had to tell the salesman from this company to fuck off.
What sort of shit were they saying? I'd love to hear
it. He was telling me, it's ruthless, it needs to be done. And I'm like, yep, probably does need to be done, dude. Probably doesn't need to cost what you're telling, because it's $500 of material, dude, and a day's work. So they were trying to do the hard sell on her. And I just said to her, look, because she was freaking out. And I go, look, you don't even need to use me. I'll give you 10 other plumbers. I don't really care. For the love of God, just don't use them. Because that's because 19 grand. There's no scenario where it is 19 grand to do 3 lengths of stormwater.
No, that's unbelievable. That's a whole ensuite reno or something.
You could do a bathroom for that. Like, it'd be a shit bathroom these days, but it'd still be a bathroom.
Yeah.
No, this was full access, 200 mil deep.
Oh, and that's criminal.
And I stopped it. So I've got to go do whatever I do there. But they were trying, but then the two blokes, so the salesman was in there and there was 2 other dudes, they were doing a DT or something. I don't know what they were doing. But they charged $4 grand to dig up a DT that was, it looked about 600 mil deep. And there was an excavator involved, and I couldn't quite work it out, but it took them 3 days to do it, and they were in and out, and it was all over the shop.
Yeah.
So I don't quite understand it, but they drag it out. They do all these bullshit things to justify it as well at the end. But if you didn't spend all this bullshit money on advertising and then paying dudes to be your salesman and paying commission and stuff, you just get a lot of work anyway. It's not that hard to get a lot of work. It's just be honest and don't be like, I get a lot of work off Instagram and I'm fucking cooked. Like, it's not that hard. Everyone, all the builders I deal with on there know I'm fucking fried. They don't care. They're like, your work's good and you're not fucking me. It's not hard.
Yeah.
But they'll put up with the rest of it, because the rest of it's not that bad if you're not fucking them in the ass.
I reckon some of these guys, would be spending 10, 20 grand a week on Google ads. And you think someone's paying for that, man.
I don't even have I've never even had a fucking website.
Yeah.
you don't need any of that bullshit. If you start your business small, start off by being honest. Honesty is the key to the customer. Honesty and being ethical, and like you'll lose a lot of jobs because you've given an honest price up front.
Yeah.
I'd rather lose that fucking job.
Mm.
I don't want that. I don't want that job where they're like, oh, if they want the cheapest price, let them fucking have it. That's on them. Don't
Yeah.
chase it. Don't chase your tail to get their job, because if they want the cheapest price, they don't respect you anyway. Fuck them.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You just got to do it. You're better off sitting at home, going broke, than going to work and going broke.
Yeah. Oh, that's good advice. And just before you touched, I didn't ask you at the time, but it sounds like you said influencers. You're talking about fucking influencers or something. And is there some particular plumbing influencers or some influencers you're referring to?
No. It was just my only issue with the trade ones is the trade influencers always do a couple of things. One of them, they end up trying to give out like a bunch of holistic life advice, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like I straight up don't care. I don't need you to like. I didn't follow you. I didn't follow you for fucking yoga advice, motherfucker, or like chi advice.
Yeah.
I don't care. Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. And the other one is the classic, which I really don't care about. Is they'll just spin it all, and this is all male or female, it doesn't matter, about kids, about their kids. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have kids. I don't care about the kids I don't have. So I really don't care about the kids you may have or do have. Shut the fuck up. Keep that shit as trade, or don't do it. Don't keep your thing about
Yeah.
trade and then just have 90% of it about your family life. I don't give two shits.
Yeah.
That one, all
Yep.
self help.
No, fair
Shut
call.
the fuck up about your self help. I've seen you do a bag. I've seen you do a bag. Shut up.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's get on to the. I'll start on my questions, and I've definitely got to get to these Instagram ones, which is blowing up a bit.
I got 0 friends.
Do you have any blokes you roll with that you've realised have a chode?
Only 2 or 3 that I would suspect have a proper chode.
You never felt
No.
like a little chode, just like bluntly poking
No,
you on
well-
the side or something?
No, because that's everyone thinks jiu-jitsu's gay. I've never felt anyone bar up. You can't if you heavily
Okay.
exercise. No, because that's why I know a lot of women won't do jiu-jitsu because they think that's a problem. If someone is barring up in jiu-jitsu, they're a fucking creep.
Yeah, and you could, I don't know, cock bar them instead of an arm bar.
No, you'll throw elbows. You'll just throw Muay Thai elbows at that point. You won't even. It won't,
Is there
it won't be
any-
jiu-jitsu.
How is that? Surely there's a submission to the privates. Well, nah, is that a rule that you
Well, if you
can't?
just
Surely
grab-
that's a rule.
Well, yeah, it's like in any fight. If you just grab someone's nuts and squeeze them, it's going to fucking submit it.
You can't squirrel grip. Is that a rule
No,
in
you can't.
BJJ? Serious question though. You can't, can you?
No.
Surely?
There's no, certainly no squirrel gripping.
Okay,
Trust me,
but
I'd be doing it.
anything for a win, eh?
I wouldn't have
Anything
lost
for
my
that
last
W.
competition. Yeah, I wouldn't have lost my last competition.
Would you rather make sure I got this? Oh, here you go. Would you rather recommend and install a chromogen heat pump or die?
No, die.
Die. Okay, good. Reverse kangaroo or top load?
No, top load. Easy.
Yeah, you've done a few before.
That's fun for weeks. That's fun for weeks, not fun once.
Exactly. Yeah, that's spot on.
That's a slow
All right,
roll.
You have to choose one to eat from the pavers after a jet job: the corn, the capsicum skin, or the chia seeds.
Oh, the corn.
Corn. At least it would taste sweet, I suppose.
It's soft. It still has some flavour because it hasn't broken down. It'll be all right.
Most underrated UFC fighter.
Oh, underrated.
Underrated.
Oh, that's got me. And I watch every week too. So that's
Come back
even
to it.
sadder.
You can only have one brand forever: Azito, Ryobi, or those fucking massive old school nickel cadmium DeWalt's.
I
You've got
forgot
to pick
about
one
them.
though.
Because Ryobi, it's got range. At least it's a range.
The DeWalt's fuck, you'd have big forearms though if you use them every day.
You end up.
Spark,
No, that was my first set. You end up fucking jacked.
Yeah, definitely. Who would you rather be mates with? A bloke who buys a Dux hottie from Bunno's and all the parts and wants you to install it, or a bloke who supplies Mondella tapware for his whole house and wants you to install it for an hourly rate, but also wants a quote first?
Oh, that's actually tough too because they're both cunts.
The Dux hottie guy or the Mondello guy who wants a fucking quote and an hourly rate?
The hottie guy's less of a retard. You'll at least
right.
you'll quote it and not get either, but at least that's more likely. You're more likely to get that one.
All right. What else have I got here? All right. A bloke who constantly keeps saying, "Don't mind me, I'm just curious," and watches you for 3 hours while you unblock his sludged up drain he claims only got blocked that day, or a bloke who hates BJJ.
No, I'll take the BJJ bloke because I can choke him out. It's fine. If he hates it, he's got no technique. And I'm a white belt, and I don't have much, but I've still got more technique than him.
All right. You collapse and you need mouth to mouth on site. There's a gyp rocker who's still coming down from last night. A 70-year-old concreter with scoliosis who smoked a pack of darts. Or a young apprentice electrician who finished his 5th TikTok video for the day and styles his eyebrows. Who would you rather give you mouth to mouth?
Sparky, he'll have the deepest throat, the deepest breath, and the softest lips.
I have one here. Suburb in Melbourne with the most cooked cunts.
The what?
I sort of asked you. The suburb in Melbourne with the most cooked units. I sort of asked you that already.
Yeah, no. Be like Glen Roy.
One particular suburb.
Glen Roy. Every time I've worked there, they're fried.
All right. You have to get one of these brands tattooed on your forehead. Ryobi, Chromogen, Mondello, Estillo, Sharkbite, or IKEA.
Oh, be IKEA
again. Can you remember them all?
Yeah, no, it'd be IKEA. Okay. It'd be IKEA.
You wouldn't go to Chromogen?
No, I wouldn't go there. Well, they're Chinese made dog shit. At least IKEA is weirdly, it's annoyingly good. It's not terrible. It's Swedish. It's functional Swedish stuff. The rest of it's dog shit.
You have to become the new host of one of these shows: The Block, House Rules, or Gogglebox, and bonus points for how you how you tap out Scotty Cam.
Well, he's easy.
So that's 2 questions in one.
He smokes a pack a day. That cunt, so he'd be easy. He's pounding.
So
I know. I know. Oh, you kick him in the nuts and then guillotine him. It'd be a piece of piss because he's pounding darts beyond belief. So the block I've actually been on many years ago as labourer. That show is a load of shit. House Rules, if it's anything the same, would be a load of shit. Gogglebox is just a bunch of fat people sitting around on the couch drinking wine or something. I don't quite know. I don't have Foxtel to watch it, and I wouldn't watch other people watching TV anyway, because why the fuck would anyone do that? You must suffer from some form of autism if you do. Well, if I was going to host,
you got to pick one though. Who are you going to? Which show are you going to host?
I'd host The Block because I could bring it down from the inside.
Okay,
that'd be easy. You drop a few N bombs on live TV, you're bringing that shit down. Yeah, that and a few perfectly placed gas leaks. Yeah, you're bringing that shit down.
True.
Even like if you don't like the family building the house, you monoxide leak that heater, you're fucking laughing.
This one might be hard to answer and may need to be edited, but if you could choke out a supplier, who would it be? I don't know. Can we go down this track or not?
Well, you probably can't release it, but it'd be Reese because the problem with Reese is Reese are convenient and do all that stuff, but they like reset your prices on you and do all sorts of other sketchy business shit. Yeah. So they can be the best price if you hound them. They can be the best price, and then they reset it a month later and do shit like that. It's like which is not the guy. Sorry, I wouldn't choke the guys in the store. I'd choke the motherfucker at the top.
Choke the system. Choke
Yeah,
the
choke
fucking
the system.
system.
Yeah,
We do love Reese though on this podcast.
No, I have no issue with Reese. I have an issue with those. I have an issue with those things that they do. They are everywhere, and they are convenient, and they can be the best price. They choose not to be. They choose not to be. That is a choice by upper management, not the guys in the store. That is upper management, is to reset prices after you've set them, is to not have good prices to begin with, but based it on convenience and expect a lot. I know plumbers that I've heard of plumbers ordering hundreds of lengths of copper and stuff, and they never ask to be priced, and Reese won't say anything. My supplier will. If I order a bunch of shit and it's overpriced, they'll tell me. Well, we fix that.
Yep.
You know, that's a choice they make. But they're having a big, at the moment, there's a lot of people pushing back against that. And Reese have lost a lot of customers over the last few years because of that. And that one's on them. That's on them because they could have avoided that. And I have no issue because the service is good. Usually, you know, people will fuck up an order, and you know, I know guys that get really upset by that. I mean, fuck, dude, I get it. Yeah. That is what it is. There's 8 different names for every single fucking fitting in plumbing. It's a pain. Even I think it's a pain in the ass. I'm a plumber. So some poor kid behind the desk sends you the wrong thing. Fucking hell. That's the least of your problems, unless it's a Friday hour at 4:00. That's the only time it's a problem. But you ring Reese, so they will leave it for you out the front. You know, I had people deliver shit to me. I had all that. They would do that, but that was a store level. I have an issue with the fundamental level of the company, not at the store level.
Okay, that's good feedback. One of the lads wanted me to ask you the number 10 question that ChatGPT came up with, which is fuck knows how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to roll with it. If you could give one piece of advice to a toilet, what would it be?
Swallow more.
Swallow more and don't choke.
Yeah, don't choke, you coward. Take it, you bitch.
All right, well, I've got another Instagram. We're nearly done. What crazy plumbing invention have you thought of that we need in the industry? These are all coming from Instagram right now. Just
no, this isn't even a crazy one. The self-feeding riveter, something you can load up like a nail gun. I'd kill
that's a
for
great idea. Yeah.
Well, you imagine Skylight.
How was that not invented?
Well, I think you just can't self-load the rivets is the problem because of the way rivets expand because the whole thing doesn't shoot out. You got the stem that's got to pop out. It's too many parts. I know why, but no, I'd kill for that because I do skylights. Like, you know, fuck man, how many rivets are in a skylight?
Yeah, that's a fucking good idea. Surely someone's going to hit us up about that. This is coming from Bartolotta. Do you keep a tally of how many blokes you've touched? I'm guessing he's talking about blokes on blokes.
Well, regardless if it's in excess of several hundred, like regardless of what scenario, whether it's at the glory hole or it's on the mat, it's a lot of blokes. It's blokes.
He's got 3 questions. So the number 2 is, when can you come up to New South Wales to touch me?
Wow, no one wants to go to New South Wales.
Well, that is true.
True. Like I'd rather go to Adelaide, and I don't really want to go to Adelaide.
We've got to make that happen. That would have been fun.
No, we tried. I didn't try very hard, but I tried.
No, but we did. When's your next jelly wrestling comp? That's the last question from Bartolotta.
Well, I don't do any jelly. I can do. I'll go up to Sydney and I'll jelly wrestle. That can't choke him out. That's fine. if he wants jelly wrestling, I'll go up there and I'll do it in jelly and I'll still choke him out.
That's when my next one questions that are probably all right. There's not too many other questions on here that I think are suitable. Or
no.
You know,
push the limits. But you can edit it.
How many oil checks is the checks? This is another one I got from Melbourne Pipe Lagging.
Yeah. How many what?
How many oil checks is too many oil checks?
Well, there's never enough. Like until your fingers are sore.
Yeah, that's a stupid question. Clearly, there's never enough. What else could we talk about? I'm enjoying this.
But all those companies have the pockets to silence people because they know they're doing the wrong thing.
Mm,
Like
mm,
they're fucking rats, mate. Like they're absolute rats. Like you've got pensioners crying. I've had like old people crying, like full blown
mm.
crying, and
Yeah,
it's because of
yeah.
what they've done. And you're like, how the fuck does that? And it's the sale. It's not the guys doing the work. The guys doing the work, I don't have respect for, but I don't have an issue with because they just need a job.
Mm.
They're not getting a commission. It's the guy selling it. He knows exactly what he's doing. And all those companies are the same. It's always some used car salesman sort of bloke. Always.
Mm. Isn't it?
Sleaziest motherfuckers.
I thought it was usually the actual plumbers who go to site and then upsell it.
Nah, those
No?
dudes don't do the jobs. They don't do the jobs.
Yeah,
They
right.
might do some of the jobs if it's like a jet or something. They're not doing the dig up. The one where they tried to do that old lady, the dude's doing the job said to her, "Oh, you'll get it way cheaper with him."
Mm.
She told me that. She's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
they
right.
said that to me." I'm like, "That's fucking retarded."
So you're saying like the first point, the first the first person that goes to the person's house usually doesn't actually do any work anyway. They just come and
Nah,
look at the
nah, because
problem as a salesman.
they're too busy upselling like a jet because they're jet. I have seen, and I have a cop. I keep copies of all this. I've got a copy of an invoice for might be or Plumbers, can't remember.
Mm.
Uh, up to 1 hour of plunging, right? No.
Fucking hell.
How much? How much? How much? You
Oh,
reckon?
nothing would surprise me, man. 2 grand,
Eight, 890.
$890.
Yep.
Fuck me.
In
Yeah,
hours, normal hours, normal hours.
but I've seen some. Yeah, I've seen some ridiculous shit
Oh,
where I've seen a job where it was a leaking breacher, and a dude from came in, just fucking smashed a hole in the laundry wall, just that was nowhere near anything. It was just like next to the walls, the washing machine stops coming out the wall, and it was a brick wall. Just smashed a hole in there. Couldn't find the leak, so he bailed and said, "Look, I don't know who. I don't know. We're not going to find it. You should call insurance." They charged her fucking. It was like $1,500. He was there for an hour, and he smashed a hole and left. And
yeah,
they
I
fucking
believe
paid
it.
it too. They paid it because they feel so pressured that they do it.
No,
You know?
that's why. Why do you think I get a lot of shit for hating on them so bad?
Mm,
I will not back down on that. They are scumbags.
they are. I
I
despise them as well,
and
man.
then you hear what I charge. Like my call out's 165, which is your first 30 minutes, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
I get told I'm expensive to jet a drain. My jet and camera per hour is 400. That's not unreasonable
Mm. Yeah,
in this
fucking
day.
like when see how much maintenance and shit goes into it that fucking costs a
It's
fortune to
very
run them, man.
well. I know plenty of dudes charging 600 for their jet and camera first hour. They're cheaper second hour. Fair enough. I'm not usually there a second hour because I either figured it out or whatever.
Mm.
So I'm quick. I'm usually in and out 30 minutes,
Yeah, yeah.
and because I'm good. You get what?
I'm good. Yeah,
No,
fucking hell.
block drains. I know I'm good.
Mm.
I
Mm.
that one I know I will not have. I'm good with maintenance in general, but that one block drains. I'm a goddamn guru on that shit these days.
You had a couple of good ones like lately. I saw those fucking septics coming out the shower.
Yeah, I had another one today. It wasn't a septic today, but that was actually an under floor blockage. Same thing. Had to pull the toilet, unfortunately, for a regular
Hmm.
customer.
Hmm.
Because I know the sewer there because I've done the main sewer there and it wasn't overflowing, so I knew it was suspended. So I've avoided wasting time at the back.
Hmm.
Bang, turned it into, it's instead of being 400 or 500, we're at 250 today. Then I'm going to reseat the toilet, change the pan cone, do all this shit, do all that. So you spent 600 by the end, but still cheaper than one of them motherfuckers.
Mm. Is it still flat out over there? Like, how are you seeing everything with the, is it
I am.
starting to see signs of any downturning or anything?
Yeah, on the renos, but I don't. That's not the majority.
Mm,
Not what I do. I, I,
yeah.
I have no interest in it. Like the build, maybe the build. Oh no, the building stuff's probably still busy. I've only got like two builders.
Mm.
I,
Are you
I have no.
working on your own?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know like a fair few blokes who've got, a reasonable amount of staff, plumbing terms
yeah,
in plumbing companies over there?
yeah, yeah. Oh, I know. Through Instagram, I know a lot of people.
Is it still a
Like,
shit fight for employees over there as well? Like it's
yeah,
still
yeah.
pretty over
You
here
can't
as
get
well.
anyone. That's what because everyone left the new gas regs. Everyone left. Like, uh,
Mm.
it that got a lot of the old dudes just gave it up. They were like a year from retirement. They all retired.
What do you reckon do you know what the rough going rate over there is for like wages for a plumber? I'm always interested to know that.
Uh, not not wages. I would assume it's got to be 40 plus.
Hmm.
I just don't think you'd get anyone decent for 35.
Yeah.
Um, I've been tempted to go back to wages if I get offered what I want. And
Really?
if I got offered 70, 80, been offered 70, but a little bit more. But if I got
70 on
like that's
wages.
yeah, but if I was running a crew, like could I not make
Yeah,
money?
yeah.
Yes. Would
Yeah.
I not make a company money? Like if someone is doing what I'm doing, would they not make a company money?
Mm.
Like you're the one running around looking after 20 other dudes and then doing that, you would be worth every cent because you're there 3 seconds figuring it out.
Mm.
That's what I would be able to do that quite comfortably and justify that because if I did on my own 3 or 4 blockages a day, two of them you're probably getting the dig up. You know,
Yeah.
you that company's already ahead,
Mm.
and
Hmm.
I'm in and out. Like I know quick. That's smart. Like but you're doing it for a company that has, let's say, a bigger building side or more rough in construction, then
Yeah.
you're going around doing the maintenance side of things. You're better off paying someone big money on the maintenance side of things to fix the problems
Hmm.
and to fix them
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
quickly and easily.
Fuck,
That's where I will eventually make my money.
at $70 an hour, man, that would be fucking tempting, eh? Like to
No,
fucking
I've
get
been
rid of
offered
all
it.
the bullshit and fuck me, man. Yeah,
Been offered it.
that would be very
But,
tempting.
but
Yeah, right.
you got to prove you're worth it. You got to be good with the maintenance. Like I said, maintenance. You can't teach maintenance.
Mm,
You
yeah,
either can do maintenance or you can't do maintenance.
yeah, definitely. And
And
like at
that,
that rate, you'd definitely have to be running like a crew of blokes or something. I reckon, wouldn't you? Like you couldn't
or
because you wouldn't be able
looking
to.
after a few people.
Yeah, definitely. I got these fuckers within like one day on Amazon. They're fake, obviously.
Oh no, I know
One
them.
day.
I could have got you the real deal. I know 'em.
You know the pit viper people.
I've been buying them for you because before a bunch of right wing retards were buying them, I was buying them.
Yeah, they're sick actually.
Oh, they're safety glasses.
Yeah. Can you get them like in Australia, like delivered quickly? Otherwise, I would have just fucking got
Yeah,
them if.
I don't know about quickly, but they're safety rated. That's why I bought them because they were
Yeah.
good They were good sunnies, and they're safety rated. The problem was now a bunch of like real right wing cunts in America wear them,
Hmm.
like real homophobic, like real racist motherfuckers wear them. And every time that they get caught doing something, Pit Viper donate money to the cause that they oppose, which I quite
Oh,
enjoy.
really? That's sick.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
Pit
that's
Viper are
great.
sick cunts. But
Fucking oath, that's killer.
I was on them years ago. Like I
Mm.
was on them earlier. Now they're just everywhere. But
Yeah, they've
they're good
blown up
work,
now.
Sonny.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like you weren't as far as I know, you weren't following me from what I could tell.
I don't think so back then.
The issue with plumbing is you've got a bunch of government authorities telling you what you can and can't do, which to a certain degree is fine. You rock up to some lady's house at 4 p.m. on a Friday, they've got no water, you go to fix something and the whole thing's non-compliant because of a bunch of technical bullshit. You've then got to fix that, but you are then liable for the repair you've done, even though you've done the right thing. You are still in the wrong because gas is different. Gas you don't fuck with. Gas, if it's non-compliant, it's non-compliant. Right? Yeah. That's how I look at it. Water and stuff you get to a different level, and then sewer is a different story altogether. Because goddamn, how often do I find a fucking dodgy sewer? You're trying to do the right thing, you get their water back on, but you've then worked on something that's non-compliant. You're now responsible for doing it, but you've saved someone else's ass, but your ass is now technically on the line.
Yeah.
That's the problem with plumbing. That's the biggest problem I've got. We're responsible for fixing other people's fuck-ups, and we are actually properly responsible. And that is something I'm getting really shitty with. Because I find shit constantly because the people that did the illegal work or the non-compliant work or whatever, they are not held responsible. People can go to Bunnings.
So that's like the last person who touches it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Almost, yeah. Well, that's essentially how it works. Because someone can go to Bunnings and they can watch the block and then watch 3 YouTube videos. And they ring me, oh, we'd like our faucet changed. If someone says the word faucet or remodel,
the warning
sign. Remodel, they're watching YouTube, right? So they think they know more than they do and this and that. And then it's like, what the fuck? But these people try and do it themselves and fuck it up. But we're the last ones that see it. We tell them it's going to cost them this much to fix their retarded shit, but we're responsible. That pisses me right off.
Yeah, fucking oath. That really pisses me off. That is a problem. Yeah, 100%. Fuck, man. Well, I don't know. We could go all night, I reckon. We should definitely do
there'll be another 2.
We should try and make it to later, I reckon. We should do a live, actually, man. That'd be a laugh. We have to tone it down a bit, maybe, but I'll
just do it. I'll just do what I do.
No, hey, mate, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate your time for coming on. So next time I'll do it in Adelaide.
Thank you for inviting me, mate. Anytime.
It's a pleasure to have you. We had so many people asking for you that we had to make it happen. So we just got to give the people what they want, really.
Right. And now you'll get about 8 of them, so it'll be fine.
Thanks, legend. Thanks for tuning in to another Plumbify podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and all the usual podcast platforms.